Hey there guys, it's your old pal Shockslayer, and today I'll be showing you how to install a MEGADRIVE V6 for your portable. This will allow you to use a drive replacement with your motherboard, so you can load up and enjoy Swiss. Now this guide requires that you have basic soldering skills and knowledge, as well as access to a few commonplace tools. You'll need IDE wire, a multimeter, tweezers, and I specifically recommend getting a flat fine-toothed nail file. And in this video I'll also be using 0.015 diameter solder. My soldering iron is set to 320 degrees Celsius. With this method, even lower temperatures can produce better results. Normally an untrimmed MEGADRIVE is fine for most motherboard cuts, so if you're not trimming your motherboard that much, you don't need to trim your MEGADRIVE. However, in this example, there are some memory card wires that will get in the way of a normal install, so we're going to trim the MEGADRIVE ever so slightly. Here's where we're going to cut it. These two data pins are not required, since they are only used for audio streaming with a disk drive. You can also cut into the ground pad without losing anything. I also took off the top corner here as well, as it's next to another component that has a wire running from it. Now you want to file the edges of the MEGADRIVE. Let's carefully file the edges of the 16 data pins. See how the absolute edge is just the FR4 circuit board? We want to file it down till the edge of the MEGADRIVE is the metal pads. We want these to be up against the edge of the 4 arrays, as this is where we want to make our solder joints. You'll also want to file at an angle, as there is a ground plane on the bottom that we don't want making contact with the 4 arrays. Keep filing until the MEGADRIVE's pins line up as close as they can to the arrays. Once you're confident, you can begin the soldering process. We'll start with a large ground pad here at the bottom. You can either blob a bunch of solder on it, or solder a wire between the two pads. In this example, I'll be blobbing solder. Make sure that the 16 pins stay aligned to the 4 arrays. Next, you'll want to go ahead and start on the 16 pins. If you're right-handed, you'll want to solder from left to right, so that you don't accidentally heat up the pads you've already completed. Go slow here, and drag from the plug side of the MEGADRIVE to the array, carefully adding just enough solder to make the connection. Do each pin in the same manner until you've completed all 16 pins. Take a moment here and verify your work. I'm going to use a multimeter to verify that I've got continuity from the pins of the MEGADRIVE to the opposite side of the arrays. If you're getting no reading at all, check your connection to make sure that the solder is going all the way from the pad to the arrays. In my case, the multimeter will beep when I've got a successful connection. You may have to go back and carefully add more solder, or re-drag the pin. I had to resolder one pin in this install. You should also check to make sure that no pins are bridged together. The install is very small and it can be very easy to miss the details. You may even want to find a magnifying glass to double check. Once you're sure that everything is soldered correctly, it's time to move on to the final 4 soldering pads. These are a lot easier to solder to, so here I go ahead and tin all 4 pads. This guide assumes your drive replacement already has Swiss flashed to it. Connect the 2 lid switch pads together, either using a solder blob or a small bit of wire. I used some spare IDE wire here. Next, connect 3.3 volts to the MEGADRIVE. You could do this from a few different spots or even the voltage input itself. In this case, since I'm already using a commonplace pad for voltage input, I choose to grab it from the nearby SMT cap. Finally, connect pin 29 to ground. This is what allows drive replacements to auto boot. You can use the ground pad from earlier. That's all the soldering you have to do for your typical portable install. All that's left is to connect the drive replacement and start up the system. To learn more about this process or share your findings, visit the bitbuilt.net forums, where the cutting edge of portableizing takes place every day.